The LM Drive. LM Drive. This is the LM Radio Drive with Gavin Buckle.
It's hard to even tell.
It is your happy listening station, LM Radio, with Gavin Buckle. Johnny together with Jesse Clegg there, and I've Been Looking. Do you remember the song Cruel, Crazy, Beautiful World? Well, what most people probably don't know is that that song was written by Johnny Clegg for his son Jesse. It's an honour and a privilege now to have Jesse Clegg join me on Zoom. Welcome, Jesse.
Hey, thank you for having me, man.
It's an absolute pleasure. For a while, I've been contemplating on how I should start this interview. Your 3 studio albums, When I Wake You, Life on Mars, and Things Unseen, have all gone platinum here in South Africa. So our chat should be all about you, Jesse Clegg. However, I do feel that I would be remiss if I didn't dedicate a small portion of it to you and your father, Johnny. Your father created the most amazing hybrid of ethnic and international music, and his passing has left a void that can never be filled. On the other hand, he was your father. Was there a time in your life that you could experience family life behind the music scene with Johnny?
Yeah, definitely. He was more of a family man than anything. I think he considered his role in his family as his most important role in his life. So there was never a time where I felt, or I can probably speak for my mom and my brother as well, that that he wasn't fulfilling those duties. You know, he was an incredible father, and we had a really close, deep relationship. His passing was very difficult. And the thing about art and a life in art is it is so personal, and it filters into every aspect of your life. So you are reflecting your life back at yourself through your art. So as a family man, it seeped into his art in many ways. And as you said, Cool, Crazy, Beautiful World was a song that he wrote for me, and it also was one of his most successful songs. So he was incredible in his ability to straddle his artistic world, his personal life, and his authentic inner voice. I feel really grateful that I had quite a unique family experience.
It's often said that one should never meet one's idol because you will ultimately be disappointed. Johnny was the idol of so many people. What was Johnny, your father, in your eyes?
He was my father. I think any person who has a relationship with their dad, no matter how the world sees them, to them it's their dad. He was never anything other than that to me, and that's how he wanted it. He wanted us to have a really good personal relationship, and he was never afraid to be vulnerable in front of us, and he was very open with us. He never made me feel pressurized to get into music or do anything similar to what he did, and he was just very supportive. So to me, he was my role model. He was he was a confidant. He was a friend. He was a father. He fulfilled so many roles in my life, as every father does.
So apart from the family aspect, you spent 6 years on the road with your father touring. Did you have to stand in the shadow on many occasions, or did you manage to share the limelight with your father?
Well, I spent the first 6 years of my life touring with him. So I was between the ages of 1 and 6. So I certainly wasn't on stage next to him. But it was a wonderful childhood. It was just beautiful. I got to see the world. By the time I was 6 years old, I think I'd been to over 100 countries, which was just a wonderful way to experience the world as a young person. And also I got to see what it is to be a musician in a very real, direct kind of way. It was a great preparation for me. turned out to be a great preparation. Other than that, I never really performed or created with my dad until right at the end, because I was walking my own path artistically. But it was wonderful to be able to see him perform and to see lots of other musicians perform, and it gave me a sense of the incredible power of music and also the intense discipline it takes to be a career musician.
Perception is so often different to reality. So when you were a child and you were on tour with your father, you had a certain perception of what it was to be a musician. Is it close to that perception, the reality of being a musician?
Yeah, I think it is, because it wasn't a glamorized perception in my case. It wasn't like I'm just seeing, superstars on TV and I'm just like, that is what I want to do. I was, in the hotel waiting. And when we traveled, we weren't traveling like a family usually travels on holiday. It was, 8 months of the year, being on a flight every day, non-stop, and it was exhausting, but it was an adventure, and it was incredible to be able to see, music connect people from so many different places and so many different backgrounds. Just an amazing phenomenon to witness from the inside. And I also saw the hardships, and I was privy to them. I experienced them myself. So I think when I wanted to get into music, it was a complicated decision for me. I knew what I was getting into in a very real sense. And it was not something that it wasn't something that I intuitively thought I would ever go into. It was really only when I started writing music and I started playing guitar and playing piano and actually experiencing the magic of music, which is, what my dad fell in love with as well. It was never about anything other than just enjoying the process of writing and expressing oneself through music. And when you fall in love with that, I think you can overcome any obstacles. It's amazing when you have a passion. It doesn't feel like work. It doesn't feel like, it's just like, oh, I have to just do this and then I can go and do what I enjoy. Okay, cool. This is just something in the way of me getting to where I need to be, so it's just a completely different perception.
And getting to where you need to be, are you there?
I don't think you ever feel like you're there. There's no arrival point. I think in a creative space, you always challenging yourself. I think the creativity is as much about doing something new as it is about not doing what you've already done. And kind of, you're constantly competing with yourself in a creative space. So I've had moments in my career where I feel like this is incredible and I'm very proud of this, and this is something that I am I can this is a feather in my cap, but I think most of the time I'm very forward looking. I'm always looking onto the next thing and the next goal and the next song I want to write and the next kind of obstacle I want to overcome. So I hope I never get to that point of just feeling satisfied. I want to keep pushing.
Now, Jesse Clegg, the artist and the musician, you're no stranger to writing, producing and performing in foreign countries. Currently now, the way things stand, where is home for you?
Well, it is Joburg right now. I'm sitting in my home studio here in Joburg. And I just before the lockdown started, I was in LA, and I was actually recording my latest single, Speed of Light, and I was supposed to be there for a few months actually, but the lockdown and the travel ban kicked in, and I had to jump on the next plane home, and I literally caught the last flight out before the travel ban was kind of enforced. So luckily I got home before before the borders closed.
With that in mind, how does a musician nowadays like yourself make money? The buying of CDs has kind of become outdated, and COVID has all but killed the live performance market.
Yeah, the answer is not easily. It's difficult, man. I think there's the industry is in a very difficult spot right now. Um, I think, for more established artists, we can still earn on royalties and digital sales, but the bulk of the music industry is and always has been live music. So it's challenging now that there is a huge gaping hole in the way that the industry has always functioned. And so, some artists are getting creative and doing some online concerts and stuff like that. For me, I've done less of that. But I've been focusing a lot on writing and working on my next album. Um, and, I'm hoping that, before the end of the year, there will be some version of live music happening again. I think the industry needs it and the artists need it, not only financially, but just mentally. It's such a profound experience to be able to perform live. And I think this is the longest time that I haven't performed since I was probably in my teen years. So it's been quite a strange experience, and I'm really looking forward to going back.
So looking into the future, barring COVID, where to from here for you?
As I said, man, I'm in the process of finishing my next album, and I am writing and recording it entirely in LA. So the moment the borders open up, I'll probably be back there to finish the album, or at least finish a number more songs, because I've written about 50 songs for the album. So I'm busy picking and choosing which ones are going to be on the final version. I'm going to hit the road and do a lot of shows. I'm expecting and release the album. So yeah, in the short term, it's going to be hopefully a lot of live performance and releasing my next album. That's my short-term goal.
But now, apart from releasing the album, you've released a new single as well called Speed of Light.
Yes.
Evidently, the write-up of the single, it explores those moments in life that allow us to rediscover our passion and meaning. It's about how, even at one's lowest point, life can still hold some unexpected surprises. So, what inspired you to write an inspirational song?
I think it's hard to say what inspires a song, man. And it was a song that I wrote before the whole COVID thing, but it seemed to just make a lot of sense in terms of the moment we're in right now. It just tells the story of someone going through this very kind of dark moment in their life, and how in moments like that, when you least expect it, you can stumble across an experience or stumble across a person that just kind of just triggers you and brings you back to yourself, and it can happen so quickly. And it's a hopeful song in the sense that these moments of inspiration can just, you can just get swept off your feet at any point in life. It's a beautiful thing, no matter what phase of life you're in. There's never that possibility always exists, and you must never forget that. And so I just felt like it was a very important message to remind ourselves of while we're going through this moment, because even though it's lockdown and it's COVID, there's still love and there's still inspiration and poetry and beauty, and someone's finishing their final matric exam, someone's falling in love, someone's giving birth to a child. There's still so many beautiful moments of life that are being experienced regardless of the state of the world. So for me, it felt like an important message to remember.
Now, the days before the internet, we all used to watch music videos on public broadcasters and what have you. Now that's all moved on to the internet. So if a person wants to watch your latest video, Speed of Light, what is the best platform to use?
YouTube is probably the best platform if they want to see the new music video. If you want to just listen to the audio, it's Apple Music, Deezer, Spotify, Google Play, wherever anyone listens, it'll be on that platform. But I highly recommend going and checking it out on YouTube, because that's where I've just released a brand new music video.
And speaking about where a person watches, what about if a person wanted to buy the music and own it? Where can a person buy your music?
Well, that doesn't exist anymore, man. The idea of purchasing a hard copy of music and having ownership of it, that business model has changed. It's such a strange thing. I have so many fond memories of going to the CD store and buying CDs. But now, it's all based on a subscription sort of model, and you basically buying access to the license of the song. So you can stream the song, but you can't own the song. And it's a new way of doing things. I still sell hard copies of my albums at my live shows, because I think that there's something nice about seeing the album art and seeing the credits and seeing some extra design and art. And also, if anyone wants the CD signed, I can sign it. But in terms of physical albums, it's hard to find these days.
Jesse, it's been an absolute pleasure. I wish you all the best with your new single as well as your new album, when you do manage to fly back to LA to carry on recording it. And I believe you're going to be giving away a signed copy of one of your CDs. Give me a question.
A question on myself?
Yeah. No. In other words, yeah, exactly. So we're going to give away a CD. So you come up with a question.
Okay. All right. Well, a good question would be, where did I record my second album?
There you go. Thank you very much. Jesse Clegg wanting to know where he recorded his second album. Jesse, it's been a pleasure. All the best.
It wasn't in South Africa. That's a clue.
There's a clue. Thank you very much, Jesse.
Okay. Thank you, man. Good to talk to you.
Pleasure. There you go. Jesse Clegg joining me here on LM Radio. Now, Jesse Clegg and The Speed of Light.
The LM Drive. LM Drive. This is the LM Radio Drive with Gavin Buckle.